There used to be a time where I would start a book and just continue on in that universe until I reach the end. I fear somewhere along the lines, we have lost the plot. Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is kind of, I don't know what the word is. Suddenly I'm in the middle of so many series where I've only read the first book and I haven't gone anywhere further, even though I really liked the first book. Hence this video. In this video we are going to be continuing series that I started and never got around to finishing or continuing. This is also fully inspired by the Darkverse series because the last book in the entire series is coming out this Friday, and I've realized I never made it past book 1. So yesterday I picked up The Reaper and I started reading, and I thought, why not turn this into a video where I have a bunch of series that I haven't continued on, and I can just, this way, if I'm filming it, I know for a fact that I will be sticking to these series because I need to continue them. I like these series. I also made a list of the ones that I could remember on my notes app. I'm just gonna check off the series that I've read as well. So for this entire week, or maybe like 5 days, because today is Monday, 3:48 on a Monday, so maybe for the next few days, so from today on to Friday, I will be reading just books that are part of series that I've begun already. I am currently in the middle of Reaper. I'm 32% into the book, so I'm not that far into it. Yesterday I ended up reading this throughout the day. I don't even know which ones I'm gonna go to after. I'm basically mood reading just books in series. So 32% into this book. I think when I read the first book in the Darkverse series, I had also vlogged it in my dark romance vlog, but if you want to see my reactions on that, I do have it in my dark romance video where I read dark romance for 24 hours. This one, The Reaper, is still about Tristan Kane. It's the events that happen after the first one. Rana is now in the Outfits territory, the house that Dante and Tristan live in. She's basically on enemy's territory. Don't come at me for this, but I don't really know where the plot is going right now, because I know in the first book it was more about finding out about who stole the codes, but they haven't really talked about the codes. I'm gonna continue reading this book. If the plot progresses anywhere, I'll let you guys know. My point still stands. I love Tristan Kane. I'm gonna go read now. It is nighttime, and guess how much progress I made? None. Do you guys know that there's a statistic, and I think it's like for a normal person they only have 4 headaches a year, and I somehow have 4 a week. Is that concerning? So I took a nap in the middle of the day and here we are. I got a little bit into The Reaper. Let's see if I made any percentage progress. 33%, 1% in the entirety of today. So after I last updated you guys, or like after the very first initial intro update, I worked out and then I realized my headache was still there, and so I decided I would eat something, and then I ended up falling asleep for a bit, and then I had food at night. I woke up, I had dinner, and then I took a nap again on the couch in the living room. I still have a headache, but I'm feeling a little bit better, so maybe I might just sit here. I have my handy dandy clicker. I'm just gonna lay here and I'm gonna read this book, and we're gonna see how much I can get into it. I'm really hoping that I finish this within like midday tomorrow so that I can start another book, since I do want to get at least 3 books down, and I was supposed to finish this one today, so I'm a little bit behind already, which is not a good sign. Nonetheless, we will prevail because I have a busy weekend, so this video cannot go on for the weekend. So this is just gonna be 5 days. We're gonna read just series that we're in the middle of. I'm going to sit here and read for a bit, and then I'll probably update you guys tomorrow. I don't think I'll update you guys today unless I do finish the book, which highly doubt it because it says I have like 3 hours left, and I don't see that happening right now. I will be finishing this book tomorrow and we'll go on from there. Am I wearing the same shirt as yesterday? Yes. Don't judge me. I did wake up early and I did read in bed, and I got quite a bit farther into The Reaper. I am 46% into the book. I don't really know what page because for some reason the ebook says there's only 292 pages, but then when I look on Goodreads there's about like 100 more. So I am 46% into the book and there is stuff going on. The plot is plotting. I know yesterday I said that I didn't really know where the codes played in, or I didn't really know if it felt like the author somehow forgotten about that part of the plot, but she hadn't, because now they're being brought up again. So I don't want to say too much since it is the second in a series, and I don't want to spoil the Darkverse series for anyone who hasn't read it yet. All I will say is she figured out exactly what happened between Tristan and her dad, and I love Dante. I feel such affection towards that character, even though this is not his book. I think the next one's his book. So now Marana's in this enemy territory and she's basically just trying to do her work. I think she's being sabotaged. Don't want to give too much away. So that's all I will say I am going to continue reading this. I'm hoping I can finish this tonight or today and then start on my next book for this week because it is 4 p.m. on a Tuesday and I was supposed to finish this book yesterday. We are behind, but we will get on schedule. I promise. I want to read at least 3 books in this video and I will be making that happen. I'm gonna continue reading. Hopefully I can get through this book quick. It says I have 3 hours left. Hopefully it's not 3 hours and I just breeze through it because I do like this book. I love Tristan Kane. I love all the scenes between Tristan and Rana. He has a freaking dimple and that man is perfect. I'm gonna go read now. What the hell just happened? Okay. Hi besties. It is nighttime. I finished The Reaper earlier today and then I didn't pick up another book, so I never sat down to talk with you guys, but I'm here now. I went over to my book cart because none of the ones on my November TBR were really calling to me right now, although there is one that I might get to. I just went to my normal cart full of unread books and I was just scouring the entire thing. For some reason nothing called to me, but I was like, I need to force myself to pick a book. Wait, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I haven't even talked about how I felt with The Reaper. I am so absolutely in love with Tristan Kane. Like, it's unreal. I ended up giving the book 4.75 stars. I wanted to deeply give it 5 stars, but it just didn't have the effect that book 1 did, although I loved the way that everything happened. I loved Tristan and Rana in this book as well, but something about the first book was just, I just could not stop thinking about them. And today I somehow forgot that I finished this book, so which is why I settled on a 4.5 to 4.75, just because it was like almost there. Everything was perfect to me, and it was just like that 5-star feeling didn't come. But despite that, I don't want to spoil anything, which is why I'm not really saying much about the book itself or like what happens in the book, but oh my god, I am obsessed with Tristan Kane. And it was to the point where I was contemplating, like, should I just continue this book? Should I just continue this series? Maybe make this a dark verse reading vlog? Now we can talk. I went to my book cart and I ended up picking the Happy Ever After playlist. Now I know this might be like slightly cheating because I am in the middle of like series that like go one after the other, but this is part of a series. This is part of the Friend Zone series. This second book is about Sloane. But if you've watched any of my videos, you know my very first Abby Jimenez was The Friend Zone, and I did not like that book. I think I gave it 2 stars. There were things in the plot, there were things with the main male character that I was not vibing with it. I didn't DNF. I finished the book, but I gave it 2 stars just because it was not for me. But I have the entire Friend Zone series, so I end up buying series in full. If I'm buying a series, the entire thing is coming home with me. I have the Happy Ever After playlist. This book was the very first book that I got from the series because the synopsis just looked really good. I think I got these books like 2.5 years ago. I liked the synopsis, and so I bought this book, and then I found out I wanted to read it, but then I found out it was in a series, so then I ended up buying the other 2 books, but I ended up not liking The Friend Zone when I read it. I also like the fact that I think these are also on Kindle Unlimited, so it is nighttime. I'm gonna start by reading the physical book, but then I'm gonna switch onto my Kindle when I get tired, when I want to just lay down. I'm gonna start reading this and I'll update you guys when I have something to say. Also, one thing that I really like about this book is that every chapter starts with a song, and I think Abby Jimenez said that like each song goes with the vibe of the chapter. I'm gonna start reading this now. We'll see how far I get tonight, and I'll see. Maybe I'll update you guys tonight, or maybe I'll just see you guys tomorrow morning. Quick little 100-page update, almost 100-page. I don't know where that accent came from, but bear with me. I am on page 98. This is chapter. I have been proven wrong. When I read The Friend Zone, I absolutely did not like it, and I was kind of wary of going into any books, but I am eating this up. This is so good. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that I already liked Sloane from Friend Zone and I wanted her to have her happy ending, or like it's just Jason. Like, there's so many things that I love about this, and then the fact that there is like a dog involved. Like, it's so cute. I feel like this is a much faster read than The Friend Zone was, because when I was reading The Friend Zone, I simply just like could not get into it. Like, there was something about the book that I just wasn't drawn to. When I looked into it, I found out that that Abby Jimenez had actually written this book first, but she needed to write the friend zone for the backstory of Sloane. And I guess that's why I kind of just felt like Kristen and Josh, I think his name was, I just did not like their story. Like something about it just like did not sit well with me. And originally when I was looking at the series, when I did pick up any Abby Jimenez books, this is the one that my eye had been drawn to, and I originally first purchased this one. I think I said that yesterday too, but I purchased this book and this is the one that I was excited for, but I wanted to read the one that comes before it just because I wanted like the backstory, obviously. So seeing this is so satisfying, and I genuinely am eating this up. Dare I say, this is leaning towards a 4-star book. I think Jason is so funny. I think Sloane has always had a great personality. It's been 2 years since the motorcycle crash that happened with Brandon, and now Sloane is basically, she was going to visit the cemetery. So it's the 2-year anniversary of the crash itself, and she's going to the cemetery, but then she stops because a dog crosses her path, jumps through her sunroof, and she's like, what the hell just happened? She gets a ticket, all this stuff happens, and then she tries to reach out to the owner of the dog, but he does not pick up. So she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep this dog. 2 weeks after that, she gets a phone call from the owner of this dog, and he's like, listen, I want my dog back. And she's like, you did not care for it. So he's like, listen, I don't know what happened, but I'm out of town for work and I want my dog back. And she's like, all right, fine, like you can have him back, I'll keep him until you're back in town, and then we'll go about from there. That turned into flirty texting, that turned into calling each other, and they both have this attraction towards each other. They grow accustomed to talking to each other. He comes back, and then when he comes back, they finally meet. Her kitchen basically floods and he goes to help her, and they just like, that's like their first meeting. Yeah, and then she finds out that he's this major rock star. He's a rock star, she loves his music, and she's like, what the hell? And now she's like finally on her first date after Brandon had passed away. And that's where we're at. I want Sloane to have her happy ending. So I'm gonna continue reading. I'll probably update you guys when I get like halfway through the book, which should be quick. I think I'm reading this really fast too because my Kindle says that I would finish this book in 4 hours. But yeah, so I'm gonna continue reading. I might read it on my Kindle. Every time I find something highlight worthy, I go into my book and I like highlight it, and then I like to mark exactly where I am, which is why I know where I am. But I like reading on my Kindle, so I think I'm gonna read on my Kindle, and I'll update you guys when I get like 50% into it. Right now it says I'm 25% into the book, so I'll talk to you guys later. Boy oh boy, do I have an update for you. Let me get in focus first. This book is proof that every author deserves a second chance. But before we get on with that, let me give you some bad news. We have a good news, bad news situation here. Bad news is it is Friday. This is the last day I am going to be filming this, and unfortunately, I think in this reading vlog, I'm only gonna have 2 books. I know I typically have 3. Just didn't work out. Let's go back to the good news. And that is the fact that every author deserves a second chance. This is proof. I don't know what it is, but I'm in love with Jason. He is the absolute perfect sweetheart that you could ever want in a book. He is the perfect mix between golden retriever, but like, I don't want to say dominant, but he's like he is the most realistic dream man that you could want in a book. I am on chapter 27, page 217, about 56% into the book, which is what my Kindle says. Jason is so understanding. The grief is written so well, the emotions are written so well, the way that he respects whatever she's feeling is so perfect. When you compare the friend zone to something like this, there's such a significant difference, because even when it comes to like tabbing, I've found that this book has so many more memorable moments than the friend zone did. This book truly displays how Abby Jimenez is as a writer. Like this book, if this is the book I read by Abby Jimenez first, it would have made sense. Like, oh yeah, this is the Abby Jimenez that everyone's obsessed with. I love this book. I don't know. Also, I think in this book, it's really beautiful how he's kind of helping her through this journey of like self-discovery and finding herself again. And it's not just her falling in love with Jason, it's her falling in love with herself after dealing with such a big tragedy in her life. The emotions are written so simply that like it hits you harder, because it's not like there is no like dwelling over those emotions. It's like she's living her day, all of a sudden she sees something and she's triggered. And that's what happens with like normal people. Like it's not like she's thinking about it 24/7, but like when something triggers it, boom, like she's back in that headspace. Like, see her journey. You're like living Sloane's journey with her, where she went from this doesn't leave her house type of person to someone who's finally like opening herself up to a version of her before she experienced loss. So I'm 56% into this book. I want to finish this book today. I'm gonna finish this book today, and once I finish this book, I think I'm gonna end this video because it is Friday and I don't have time on the weekends to be able to film more for this video. So this is going to unfortunately be the last book for this video, even though it's only my second book. So I'm gonna go read now. We're gonna go dwell in this beautiful story. Page 243, page 243, page 243. We're happy, we're in love. 100 pages. We're happy, in love, going on tour. 100 pages. What the fuck is this? I've stopped crying. Am I crazy to think that I might want to give this a 5-star? Is that crazy? I gave the friend zone 2. I'm like teetering between like 4.75 and 5 just because I haven't gotten that feeling yet. I think if tomorrow morning I wake up and I get that feeling, I'll change it to a 5. Right now, I think on my Goodreads, I might do 4.75. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Like, this was so good. And I like read this so quick. When I was on my Kindle, I was like, hello? I absolutely love Jason. I love the way that everything wrapped up. I'm just gonna read you guys something. You think you know what love looks like. You think the fairy tales and the romantic movies prepare you. And then you finally really truly find it and you realize you never knew a thing about it until her. She was every love song I've never been good enough to write. You know, like when we got to the point where, this might be like a tiny bit spoiler, so if you want to like forward, when we got to the point where they needed to break up, obviously because things were happening. Deep down, I had a fear that throughout, I think the breakup happened what, like 75% into the book, or maybe like 70, like it was like a good chunk. So let's say 75% of the book. I had this fear that he would end up like being with someone else, or you know, like he would just go through like this very playboy phase, when the entire beginning part of the book he was the absolute most green flag. And I'm so satisfied in the way that he was still loyal to her despite like everything. I love the way all the characters wrap up, but the character development in this book is so good. Just the relationships are so good. And I think this book is specifically, the reason that I say this book might be 5 stars is because it's so much more than just them falling in love. There's so much more about like finding yourself, finding your identity, being happy in yourself before you are able to be happy with someone else. And I think that's the biggest takeaway of like Sloane and Jason. Sometimes separation is needed just so you can come back to each other and be stronger. And I think that's what the case was for them. And I absolutely love this book. And so I'm really happy that I gave her a second chance, and I also have the 3rd book in this series, so maybe I might like that one too. I think I'm rating it 5 stars. I'm getting that feeling. For me, when I read a 5-star book, it's this numb feeling where I'm just like, I feel so consumed, like I have no thoughts except what I just read. Stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about this. All right, but that is the end of this video. I did say I was gonna end it today. It is Friday night. We had 5 days of reading, and unfortunately I only got 2 books done instead of 3 that I wanted to do. But I don't think I'm gonna extend this video more because tomorrow and Sunday I just have busy days, and so I'm not going to be able to read much anyways if we're trying to do this video. And so I think it's just a perfect solution to end this video now. And yeah, that was me continuing series that I began. I have many more to go, so maybe I might do another version. Maybe I might do another one of these videos, turn this into somewhat of a series on my page, and just get through all the series that I have still sitting here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!